Hello everyone, I'm Giacomo from the University of Bologna, PhD student, and now I'm going to tell you about the Mediterranean BBEC, one of the two international BBECs. And this BBEC involves Italian and Spanish partners, 6 partners of the BioBEC consortium. And in addition to the University of Bologna, from Italy we have also FVA and the Italian National Council Research. From Spain we have CTA, and the University of Barcelona and SIA. The Mediterranean area, first of all, the Mediterranean area lacks specific strategies for bioeconomy or alliance in between countries of the area. So, because of this, we are aware that the present needs of the area is, first of all, to define structured educational frameworks. To do this, we also need to identify the actors of the Mediterranean bioeconomy education. And also we have to align the education and training in the area. And for the future needs, it's very important to identify the skilled human resources for innovations, but also the skilled human resources for ecological and digital transition. The Mediterranean BBEC will be organized as an association involving from 10 to 25 partners. All the BioBEC partners confirm their interest in being involved in this project. And while the implementation replication working group involved universities, local authorities, technology transfer institutes, training centers, digital innovation hubs, and communication and dissemination experts, both from Italy and Spain, but we also have some actors from Portugal and Greece that express their interest in the project. Also, North African countries are for sure could represent key alliance for the Mediterranean BBEC, but to date there was no direct contact. And all the Mediterranean BBEC is, you can see here on the left of the slide. So we have Italian and Spanish partners. Outside we have some IRWG from Portugal and Greece, and then the possibility of North African countries. But it's very important for us also to be always reconnect to all the BBECs, so the European network of BBECs. About the vision of the BBEC, the idea is to become the reference point for bioeconomy education and training in the area, both for EU and not EU countries. And the main topics that we identified as important for the area, that are common topics for these countries, are food waste, and water resources, like water scarcity also. About the value proposition, the Mediterranean BBEC aims to interact as a broker between the demand and offer of bioeconomy education and training, both from industry and private citizens, and at all the educational levels. So for this reason, we target many groups like students, workers that needs to reallocate their curriculum, industry, but also research centers, academia, vocational education institutions, schools, public administrations, but all the people that are not employed, not in education, and not in training. The activities that we identify as important is, first of all, the continuing identification of the priorities, the training needs, and the profiles that are important for the bioeconomy in the area. But also because of the novelty of the concept of bioeconomy in some places, especially in education, the training the trainers is one of the activity that we plan to do in this center for all the educational levels. As other BBECs, we also have the idea to offer a platform, an online service to meet the demand offer of education. Dissemination and communication activities to raising awareness about the concept of bioeconomy and what bioeconomy can be for the Mediterranean area. And also encourage and enable internships and mentoring activities. The key resources. The idea is to have a virtual BBEC, so we don't need laboratories or buildings. And as the other BBECs, the idea is to have just 2 persons full-time, a director and a secretary, and no other facilities are perceived as necessary. But many of these resources are expected to be in kind from the partners or of the BBEC. About the governance, a very simple structure: a general assembly, a president, a management board, a scientific council, and a managing director. This is the idea. Just to give you the idea of what are the expenditures that we planned. Almost 9,000 euro to the capex, and for the operational costs, almost 200,000 euros. For the funding, we received important public funds, like the European ones, the international ones, but also national and local ones. And we consider these funds like the 40% of the total revenues. But also 3 main resources are the private funding, the fees from the members, the in-kind contributions, and fees by participants of activities. So going to the risks, good practices, and lesson learned. First of all, the risks. We are aware that the commitment of the partners, both operationally and financially, could bring when the BBEC will be operative, could bring some partners to withdraw. So it's very important to plan a financial strategy that ensures a share of guaranteed capital. As also Lina said, participation in projects could be a risk, so it should not represent a strategic asset for the center, because you need to have guaranteed funds. But on the other hand, we believe also that competition is not seen as a challenge in our case, because there are no many centers that are like the Mediterranean BBEC, so there is no competition. And another thing that we believe is important, that the streams of material and opportunities between BBECs need a specific European BBEC coordination. So it could not be just for one BBEC, but all the BBEC, because of the huge amount of material that could be shared among the different BBECs. There is the need of a unique EU BBEC for coordination. For the good practices, it was very important for us to early identify the main educational gaps and the opportunities in the area. This allowed us to identify in which direction we could go. But also another thing that was important is to have this ambitious goal of setting an international center that gave us, on one hand, the idea of having a systemic vision. And so that is the systemic vision is in the concept itself of bioeconomy, and on the other hand, could be the first brick for building a Mediterranean vision. Another important aspect is the involvement of bioeconomy actors that gave us a sort of reality check of what we were proposing. And this was done through the iterative process in several steps that gave us really some good feedbacks and allowed to all the stakeholders to reflect on what we were doing. About the lesson learned, of course, it's very important to say that there are many difficulties in building an international center. Governance issues, administrative issues, different type of companies, different laws, and different international strategies, and so on. So it's very difficult, and this is due to this heterogeneity that we are aware that the Mediterranean area is not suitable for a unique center that provides education for all the Mediterranean citizens, but it's important to have national branches with a central coordination that for us is the best solution to date. And finally, another thing that is very important for us is that to date there is a high interest on the topic of bioeconomy education and training in the area, but there is a very low willingness to pay because everybody is waiting for you. Okay, let's start. I will see you, and then I will join maybe. So yeah, this is more or less what we learned.